Okay, so I will upload this, of course, to the site as well. So, okay, so we've gone through the rooms and we've looked at different challenges with recruiting challenges, and the interesting thing is, you know, there's a few down here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say 10. Okay, so the first, okay, I'll start off like this. So you want to recruit loads of people, okay? And there's certain things that are inside your control, and there's certain things that are outside your control. So I'm going to touch just about on the 3 Qs of recruiting. So the first Q of recruiting is the quality. You can control the quality of the seed, okay? The quality of the seed that you sow. So what's the seed? Well, the seed is the language that you use to get the yes, the skills that you use to get the yes. So if you want quality seed, then what you need to do is you need to skill yourself, okay? You need to upskill so you know what to say. So if you've got good quality seed, you increase your chance of a bigger harvest, right? That makes sense? So you've got quality seed, you're going to get a bigger harvest. So how do you get quality seed? Well, you need to skill yourself, okay? Some of you have a low skill level, but you have a high work rate, okay? But the problem is you're working really hard and you're not getting the results. There's some of you that have got a low work rate, but your quality of your seed is quite high, so you are getting some results, but still small results. So what you need to do is you need to pair your, someone say, okay, you need to pair your work rate, okay, with your skill rate, okay? So if you get both a high skill rate and both a high work rate, then your quality of your seed is spot on, right? So the quality of your seed is skill. So the question you've got to ask yourself are things like, how well do you know your scripts? You know, how well do you know things like the recruiting script? So the magic question script, the recruit as you go script. These are particularly the recruit as you go script is a powerful script. The Steam track script, you know, the Steam script again is just a ridiculously effective script. The social media scripts, the ones that we use on our social media about what to say. I've got to tell you guys that when I'm prospecting people, I have these phrases that I say pretty much all the time. It's the same boring phrases that I use pretty much with everybody over and over again. And I do that enough times and it gets results. You just keep sowing the seed. You don't kind of, you think about it, if you're sowing like plant seeds, you don't just kind of go, well, I'll plant this one like that one I'll do like that one I'll do like this one I'll do this way, that one I'll do like that. You just keep sowing the seed, and it's boring and it's monotonous. But you know something, it's a system, and it's a system that works. You just keep sowing, you just keep sowing. So, you know, I just decided I'm just going to say the same thing. So some of those things that I say, especially on social media, are on the Facebook group. If you look under where it says social media scripts, I've basically written a whole bunch of things that I say. You can copy and paste them into Wordboard or into a text document or whatever, a notepad or whatever, and just use them all the time. It's basically what I say. Okay, so you don't have to get super creative. You just got to be, you know, good at copying, right? Just say what I say and it's going to get you recruits. It's just that simple. So the quality of seed is that, the scripts. How well do you form people? So how well do you find out what their hot button is before you tailor your message? You know, it's really common sense, really. There's a friend of mine, he always has this phrase. He said, find out what people want and then give it to them. Okay, find out what people's needs are, then meet that need. Find out what challenge they're coming up against and help them overcome it, and you're going to recruit people. Simple. We are problem solvers, okay, but you can't solve problems if you don't know what it is. So, you know, I know that there's people that they're too forceful. right? You've got to be kind of nonchalant about it. I mean, if you've got something amazing, you don't go, hey, I've got this amazing thing. Do you want to be a part of it? Do you want to be in it? Do you want to join it? You don't just go that. You go, I got this amazing thing. If you want to be in it, you're welcome to come have a look. If not, I don't really care. It's still amazing. I'm still doing it. The only person that misses out on this thing is you. You know, I love the phrase, and I use this, pretty regularly. It's another one of these phrases I use. If someone's thinking about it, they're not sure, I say, you know what? If you join us, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to help loads of families. We're going to make loads of money. If you don't join us, it's going to be fantastic. We're going to help loads of families. We're going to make loads of money. The only difference in both of those scenarios is whether you are in it or not. Are you a spectator or are you a participator? That's the thing you're choosing. We're going to do it anyway because we've proven that's what we're doing. So you're either going to join it, get involved and benefit, or you're going to just watch us. It's your choice. Very nonchalant about the whole thing. So the quality of the seed is something you get to control. Okay? The quality of the ground you sow your seed into. So, or the ground as my, there we go. Let me just move that. Quality of the ground. So the quality of the ground. So what, did that just move? It did, didn't it? Oh, there's a cable pulling it back. Okay. The quality of the ground. So what is good quality ground? Okay, well, the only way you get to determine the quality of the ground is by asking the right questions. So what is it we're actually looking for in people? Okay, so put in the chat, what do you think is the top one, the number one thing we're looking for in people that we want to recruit? I mean, if you want to look at what fertile ground is, what is it you're looking for? Spot on, Jean. Desire. We're looking for desire. Okay. We're not looking for skills. We're not looking for influence. We're looking for desire. Now, if they happen to have skills and they happen to have influence and they happen to have a good work ethic, whatever, that's great. But the number one thing we're looking for is desire. Okay. We want the people that want it so bad they will do whatever it takes to get it. Okay. So the quality of ground is you've got to go out and you've got to find people. Now, the problem is you can't determine the quality of the ground, but it's good to know what it is you're looking for. Okay. And the last Q is the quantity of the seed you sow. What's the quantity of the seed? How many conversations do you have every single day? How many yeses do you get? Do you set a target or a goal for yeses every day, or do you just keep going and hope some yeses come along? You see, you've got to, if you really want to get a lot of yeses for overviews or opportunities or RPs, you can do it two ways. You can do it one way, you just kind of go along in life and recruit as you go and maybe stumble across a winner, or you can go out and look for winners, all right? There are winners out there, right? So you can go look for the winners. So looking for the winners, I love what Banksy said earlier today. She realized people weren't going to come to her, so she said, I had to go out and find people. So if you're going to go and look for winners, because we are in a winner location business, not a winner creation business, right? So we're going to look for winners. We need to go where people are that might be potential winners. So the way we do that is we go and start having more conversations. We get in front of more people. We get home presentations. We get yeses. We do more RPs. We do more Zooms. You know, one of the things that I'm getting quite a bit of success from lately is I'm making more connections with more influential people. Now, I'm not looking to recruit these influential people because they're doing their own thing. They're running their own show. They've got their own businesses. They're not really recruitable at this point most of the time. However, they know loads of people. So just this week, I've had meetings and I've got our Zoom calls scheduled with 2 or 3 more influencers this week, where I can just make another friend, find out a bit about how I can help them, refer some people to them. I've also connected a couple of influencers this week. Hey, you'll get on really great with this person. Let me connect you. I don't know if there's anything in it. I don't know if this is going to benefit you. I don't know if there's any, synergy there. But you're both really cool people. You're really successful. I just thought I'd connect you. Don't know what will happen, but you know what? They like me that little bit more, right? Because I did something for them without expectation of anything else. And that's the thing. You sow these seeds, and you by just doing things without expectation from people. So the quality of the seed, quality of the ground, and the quantity of the seed. Now you can control the quantity. Okay, you can't control the quality of the ground. You just know you're looking for desire, but you can control the quality of the seed by your skills, and you can control the quantity of the seed by the volume of conversations that you have. So if you want to have more conversations, what you've got to do is you've got to set yourself a weekly goal, right? You could set a contacts goal, or you could set a yes goal, right? Contacts, so yes, I'm going to make 5 new contacts a day. I'm going to start 5 new conversations a day. One of the things that I do every single day without fail, I start new conversations. I start at least 5 new conversations a day, every single day. Now, most of them come to nothing because I filter them and go, nope, not wasting my time. That's the great thing about social media or Shaper or whatever, is you just go, yeah, this ain't going anywhere. Next. You don't have to worry about offending people because they're never going to see you again, right? You just next them. So you've got to set yourself a weekly goal because it gives you something to focus on. You start thinking, right, I want to get 10 yeses this week or 7 yeses, only 1 a day. And you can do this with your team as well. So if I need this many yeses, then I need this many conversations. You can start thinking, you've got to reverse engineer. Well, I want 10 recruits. So I need 10 recruits. Again, just the number side of it, you know. So if I know I want 10 recruits, I know I got to get 30 exposures or 30 guests. If I want 30 guests, I got to get 90 yeses, right? So then you go, well, 90 yeses seems like a lot of yeses, but then you divide it by 7 days in a week, and I don't even know what that works out at, but it's not that many, right? And then you talk to your team about it. So you've got to decide. In fact, I don't know. Let's work it out. Somebody tell me what there's, David. You know, you can work that out probably. What's 90 divided by 7, David? Put you on the spot now. Anyone, calculate it for me. I'm just once again proving that I don't have to be able to count.
12 and a bit.
How much is it?
Did you get that? 12 and a bit.
12 and a bit. Okay, let's call it 12, right? So you suddenly know you've got to get 12 yeses per day. So 12 per day. So then the question is, well, how many of those 12 are you going to do? And how many of those 12 is going to come from your team? So then you talk to your team and go, well, okay, how many are you going to do? And 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 now you take this 12 and you divide it up amongst the team, and it works out not that many, right? That's called teamwork, right? Hashtag team game. So you now know the strategy. So now you can focus on that daily activity, your personal daily, and coach your team on your team activity. That now you've got a clear idea about the quantity of the seed that you want to sow, and the rest. Now, if you're not getting the results, well, then you've got to look at the quality, okay? Because that probably means it's a skills thing. So some of you are talking to people. I know this for a fact. Some of you are talking to people and you're not getting results because, and then if I say to you, well, what's the Recruit As You Go script? What's the Steam Track script? You go, I don't know. What's that? Well, you need to know it because have you watched the recruiting training videos? Have you watched other videos apart from this one? Have you watched the video in Form and Sign? Are you forming people? Are you lauding people? Are you finding out what their skills, interests, goals, and needs are? Are you finding out what their problem is? Are you solving their problem? You see, you can say, well, this doesn't work, but it works if you have the right skill set and you apply the skill set. It works. We know that because, as Randy said, there is a huge amount of evidence that surrounds us all the time in this business about the fact that it works. Okay, so let's overcome the making calls fear. Okay, the first one. So here's the problem why you're scared of making phone calls. And by the way, we've all done this. I would pick up my phone and I would go, oh, yeah, that person's probably, putting the kids to bed now. Or I'd pick up my phone and I'd go, Oh, yeah, I'll call them after lunch. Oh, actually, they're probably working. I'd make all these excuses as to why I couldn't phone them, right? Let me see a hand raise if you do that. Is that just me, or do we all do that, you know? Yeah, we make excuses. Oh, no, they probably won't be interested. Well, who are we to decide if they might be interested or not? What if somebody didn't speak to well, let's say no, let's say somebody didn't invite me. Let's say my mum said, well, I'm not going to speak to Steve about it because he won't be interested. How much money would that have cost her over the last 12 years? I mean, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds, right? But Frank, somebody didn't recruit Frank because they didn't think he'd be interested, so he ended up joining a different team. There's so many stories of this. It's not our choice or our decision to decide whether they'll be interested or not. Our job is simply to offer the opportunity indiscriminately to everybody. Our job is to share the opportunity with everybody. They can decide to tell you where to go. They can decide they're not interested. They can tell you it's the wrong timing, or they can join. It doesn't matter because we're in a winner location business. The only way we locate businesses, we go, ask that one, ask that one, ask that one, ask that one. No, 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 no. Oh, yes. No, no, no. Oh, yes. Okay, you can't control that. Here's the problem. People go, no, 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 no. Oh, this doesn't work. I'm going to do the other cue, which is the quit. No, it doesn't work. And yet, two more people, three more people, and they found Shaheen Jamai. They found Lindsay. They found Steve Jenkins. Wow, but they stopped just here. It's mad, but they stopped just before. I love that. I love that. That image that, you know, where you see the image like this, where you've got the diamonds and the jewels and all that stuff here, and you see this guy walking back that way because he just gave up just before he hit the diamonds, you know. And it's like he's worked all this way, and then just this isn't working. But just, you know, I think the book is 3 feet from gold. You know, he just stopped digging. It's like, no, this isn't working. But if it had just gone just a bit longer, he'd have found the gold. He'd have found the treasure. And yet you can't, you know, quitting has just got to be not an option for you. If you decided you're going to be successful in this business, eliminate the possibility of quitting. When you commit to something, you take away possibilities. In fact, I love what Jeff always talks about. He talks about when you decide. He said these words that end in CIDE, they're very final words like suicide, genocide. There's no other options, right? When that's happened, is finished, is done. So when you decide, that means there's no other options. You've taken away the options. This is what you're doing now. I love that Lindsay said, this is the plan. I don't have another option. I don't have another plan. I haven't got backup little businesses on the side that I might do. She's focused all out on becoming a vice president or above and sacking her boss. You know what? So she can have the freedom to be a mum, be a wife, be a self-employed business person with time freedom to holiday whenever she wants to holiday, right? Without putting in holiday request forms, right? Because so she's decided. I love the fact that it's decided and desire are very similar words, right? That's a whole nother lesson, I think, the difference between how close decide and desire are. So the point is you got to overcome the fear of making calls. And the way you do that is this. First of all, take away the emotion, right? The fear of rejection is an emotion. So decide that every single person on your list, every single friend that you know, okay, Joe, every friend that you know, every person you know, your job is just to expose them to this opportunity and find out what box they fit into. All you're going to do is forget whether they're going to join, forget whether they're going to not join. It's irrelevant. All you're doing is filtering, okay? So this is just a filter. We know that they either are a yes, a no, or a not yet. We know that they are. So they're that one, or that one. We know for a fact. Would you agree that everybody fits into that box? Okay? They are yes, no, maybe, or yes, no, not yet, right? They are, that's it. they fit into those boxes. So all I want you to do is forget about recruiting people. I just want you to invite every single one of your friends, everybody you know, and let's find out how many are in each category. Okay? So this week, go out and go and literally have loads of conversations, and then go, oh, that one was a no, or that one was a no, that one was a no, oh, that one's a maybe, oh, that one's a maybe, that one's a no, that one's a no, that one's a no, oh, that one's a yes, oh, that one's a yes, oh, that one's a, right? Just go and filter them. Don't worry if they're a no. If they're a no, go, awesome, they're a no. I know what category to put them in now. They're a no. That's what box they go in. They go in the no box. Oh, they're a not yet. Great, they're a not yet. Let's put them in the not yet box. They're the not yet person. Thought they might be a yes person, but hey, I was wrong. They're a not yet person. Don't worry. Wow, this one's a yes person. I didn't think they were going to be a yes person. I thought there'd be a definite no person, but guess what? They were a yes person. Wow, that's interesting. Or as I love what Jim Rohn says, isn't that interesting? That's his big phrase. So, you know, oh, it's a not yet. Isn't that interesting? Yep, it's interesting. You can't control if they're a yes, a no, or a not yet. All you can do is filter them. Again, Tim just said there, replace the fear with a bigger fear. There's another thing to overcome the emotional side of it. You're scared of rejection of a phone call, of a person. Now, if you phrase that properly, you're helping them. So if I call you up and I say, hey, Joe, I'm just picking on Joe because you're right there. Hey, Joe, I just got started in a business and I'm really excited about it. It's helping people. And I wondered who you know. I'm looking to expand. I wondered who you know who might be open to make more money. You know, do you know anyone who's kind of open-minded like that? And then they go, nah, not really. Or they go, well, yeah, I do know somebody who's looking for work. Or they go, well, what about me? Oh, okay. The point is, you just ask that question and they're either, no, I do know someone, or, you know, it's me, right? You can't control that. So the fear of that rejection, think about it. If you're calling people to help them, okay, imagine I'm giving a car away and I say, hey, Lindsay, listen, I don't know if you need a car, but I've got a car that I want to give away to somebody. Who do you know that might need a car? Lindsay might go, well, I need a car. What about me? Or she might go, oh, yeah, well, I don't need a car. I just got a new one. But actually, my brother really needs a car. Are they going to be offended that you thought of them to potentially give them something valuable? Are they going to go, what the heck are you phoning me for to offer me a car? Who do you think I am? Right? Unless they're stupid people. Do you think I'm so poor I can't buy my own car? Then they're just ignorant and you don't want them in their team. Speaking of ignorance, I've got to tell you this story this week. One of the team, I don't know if she's on today, but I don't want to change the screen, but had somebody go to the overview, right? And they so they went along, and then they were so smart, this person, they sat in this meeting and they judged all about the meeting and decided that they would be so clever to go home and they would research Genistar online and pick all the holes in it. So they went home, they did their research, and then they sent this link and they said, this company is not a proper company. It's not been running for 12 years. It's been running for 7 years. These are the directors of the company. It has a value of £1. There's no way anybody in that company is making money. And so this person sent me this. I thought, that's strange, because I know that's not true. They're all completely true. So they're all completely untrue. So I clicked on the link and I looked up, and this guy had absolutely done a search and found us. And you know what? He searched this thing, and he searched this company, and this company here, he was correct. This company, Genistar Limited, actually had only been running 7 years, and it had a value of £1. But actually, it's nothing to do with Genistar. It's some company in Middlesex that I don't even know what they do. Don't recognize the director's names. It's literally the complete wrong company, right? So this guy's come up with all this self-righteous crap going, well, I don't know, it's all wrong. And I just said to the person, if the guy can't even spell the name of the company right, then you know what? He's probably not the kind of person we're looking for, you know. Tell him to stop being a twat. Anyway, yeah, that was kind of my words in one thing. Yeah, not the kind of guy we're looking for. It's so funny, this self-righteous crap that like I'm gonna show you that you get it all wrong. Yeah, okay, mate. We'll try and spell the flipping company right if you're gonna get all cocky. Anyway, that was just something that tickled me this week. I thought it was quite funny. So, replacing your fear with a greater fear. Again, at the convention, Randy Godfrey said this. He said, you know, what's your fear? Your fear is of rejection, because somebody might go, oh, well, I don't want a car. Oh, well, I don't want an opportunity. Oh, I don't know anyone to offer an opportunity. Oh, apparently he offered advice to help the company as well. That's funny. Maybe you should offer advice how to spell. But so your fear of rejection on that one phone call, that somebody doesn't want you to help them, think about it, it's pretty stupid, right? How big is your fear of not achieving your goals? How big is your fear of not getting out of debt? How big is your fear of failure? How big is your fear of never being able to sack your boss, having to work in a career with a boss for the rest of your days? How big is your fear of not being able to retire? Right? The bottom line is, you've got to start asking. And again, I remember there's a video we showed on this years ago again about the pain of regret. You've got to choose your pain. You can choose the pain of rejection, the pain of work, the pain of effort, the pain of learning, or you can choose the pain of regret when you get to the end of your life and you didn't achieve your goals. I promise you, the pain of regret lasts a lot longer than that small, tiny pain of rejection when someone says no and you go, because here's the thing, you put the phone down from the person that said no, sod off, leave me alone. You pick up the phone again straight after, and maybe you get another one and you put it down, you pick it up again, and guess what? Someone says yes. Now you can't even remember what the person who said no 2 calls away even said to you. You're not interested here because I've got a yes here. You get focused on the positive person, not the negative, right? So, yeah, you know, the pain of, oh, there you go. So, does that make sense? So, fear of making calls, ABCs of making calls. There's 3 possible outcomes, right? You can have A is you make an appointment or you get a yes. B is bugger off, bog off, be gone, whatever it is. Let's call it bog off. And C is call back, right? Here's your 3 appointment outcomes. You make an appointment, they tell you where to go, or you call back. If we're thinking of this as a filter process, every single one of them is positive. This person, yeah, positive. I know what box to put them in. This person, both still potential recruits, right? Every single one of those positive. So if you get your mindset that every one of these outcomes is a positive outcome, what do you need to be afraid of? Nothing. You're just trying to filter what box they tick you. If I said to you, you've got to call 100 people, don't worry about recruiting anybody, don't care whether you recruit, but I'm going to give you £1,000 for calling 100 people, okay? And all I want you to do is filter them. Are they A, B, or C? I don't care anything else, just filter them. Are they A, B, or C? 100 people, I'll give you £1,000 cash. How many of you would make those 100 calls? Would you make the calls, Joe, if I said I'd give you £1,000 cash? Yeah? What about if I said I'd give you £5,000? Would you make 200 calls? 5 grand.
By the afternoon.
You'd be doing it, right? You'd make the calls. So here's the thing, right? So it's not actually about the fear. It's about the mindset. Because if I said, do it for no money, you'd be like, oh, well, you know, it's hard. And, you know, da-da. If I said, hey, I'll give you £1,000, 5 grand, you go, yeah, all right. I don't care. Because every time they go, sod off, leave me alone, I go, yeah, I don't care. I'm one step closer to my 5 grand. See you later, mate. Let's get to the next one. Oh, leave you alone. All right. Hey, thanks for the call, man. One step closer to my 5 grand, right? So it's not even skill set. It's just purely mindset. Does that make sense? Yes. Good. Okay. Finding people. Okay, easy one. I mean, my gosh, this team is a team that can find people. We're great at finding people. I mean, let me just look on my board. So I've got 12 IBAs on the board right now. And let me just see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the 12 people that we recruited this month, 10 have come either directly or indirectly from social media. So what does that mean? Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. They didn't all join because of Facebook. Okay. But you know what? Every one of those 10 that joined this month came because I met Shaheen and Esther. That was I personally met Shaheen and Esther on Facebook. So because I personally met Shaheen and Esther on Facebook, Shaheen met Lindsay, and basically Esther met what's the lady who's up here? I've forgotten her name. Verity. Yeah, it's right there. Verity. Esther met Verity. Verity, name for a sec. Shaheen met Lindsay. Lindsay met this one. Shaheen met another one. Bottom line is, so Lindsay recruited 4 people this month, but I didn't meet Lindsay. I met Shaheen, but Shaheen met Lindsay, right? Bottom line is, if I hadn't found these 2 people on Facebook, we wouldn't have those 10 recruits, because Banksy was found by Lindsay. So Shaheen found Lindsay, Lindsay found Banksy, Banksy found Wayne, right? And Alex and Tina. Well, actually, Wayne was found by Tina. So it went me, I found Shaheen, Shaheen found Lindsay, Lindsay found Banksy, Banksy found Tina, Tina found Wayne. All because we found Shaheen on Facebook. You see, it's not about social media. Social media is just a way of finding people. I didn't recruit Shaheen on Facebook. I met Shaheen on Facebook. I recruited Shaheen sitting in a hotel in Greenwich, having a salted caramel cup of tea, right? We remember that well. She
and that
really
was the
enjoyed
wrong choice.
She really enjoyed it.
No, I didn't.
So my point is, I didn't meet her there. I met Esther on Facebook, and I recruited her on Zoom. That was very much a Facebook thing, but this one was in person. I just met them there. So my point is, we can actually find people through Facebook. You can find people through calling. So let's put social media is a place to find people. Yeah. Join groups. I mean, we've got videos on this, etc. Right? Chat to people. Every day I chat to someone, and I used to say this one phrase every single day, without fail. This is what I say. I sow this one seed, and it's the How's Things seed. I sow the How's Things seed. Blah, blah, blah. How's things? Thanks for commenting on my post. How's things? Thanks for joining my group. How's things? You know, loved your picture. How's things? Thanks for loving my picture. How's things? Thanks for commenting. How's things? Haven't spoke to you for a while. How's things? I'm just showing that every time I say how's things, it's a wide open question. They go, oh, well, things are really bad at the moment. Really? Oh, that's sorry to hear that. You know, what's up? Anything I can help with? Oh, things are great. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, things are indifferent. Oh, well done. Oh, what are you doing right now? Blah, blah, blah. It's just about starting the conversation. How's things? Conversation starter. Classic conversation starter. You know, that is it. If you don't know the how's things script, well, this is it. How's things? That's the script. Master that script. Okay? It seriously is that simple. All right? So, social media, how's things, right? Did you all get that? How's things? Have you got that part? Is this sinking in? how's things? I promise you, I say that every single day. When I'm sitting by the pool in Canary Islands, I'm texting, how's things? When I'm on the train, I'm texting, how's things? It's serious. I'm just like, how's things? How's things? I do it every day. Right. I think I made that point now. But social media, okay, another massive one. Referrals. Referrals, right? People have referred you. They are lukewarm people. They're even warmer than the other people. They're great because guess what? You call them and then you use a script. And it could be the Steam script, which is, by the way, about 90% effective. If I tell you a script is 90% effective, why wouldn't you learn it? I mean, that'd be pretty crazy not to learn a script that I told you is 90% effective, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be silly? Wouldn't that be a demonstration that you're not really that serious about your business? If you're serious about your business, you've got to learn the skills, guys. I mean, imagine if you're going to go work in a factory making cars or something, say, right, you've got to learn the machine that does the pressing of the metal, and you go, oh, well, can't I just stand and press this button every now and again? Well, no, you've got to figure out the system. You need to line up stuff or whatever. I don't know why I use that example. I know nothing about that. But my point is, you've got to know the job, whatever it is that you do in your day job. You've got to know the system. Some of you are property investors. Hey, I want to be a property investor. Well, yeah, let me just go be one. Well, what do? I don't know, but I've got money. I mean, I guess I just go buy stuff, right? Well, no, you've got to learn what does it mean? What are the mortgages? What kind of rates do you get? What do you do? Is it a HMO? What's the law regarding that? What can you buy it and let it out? Can you rent it, or can you buy it and refurb it and flip it? You've got to know the skills, right? It'll be crazy to go into that business and not know what to do, right? That's why people spend thousands on courses. Whatever it is you want to do, you've got to learn the system. I want to be an athlete. Well, there's a system to running. There's a system to training. There's a system to the diet that you have. There's a system to when you exercise, which muscles. You've got to learn it. Yeah, but it's work. Yes, it is. It's the price you have to pay for success. So you gotta know meeting people, social media, referrals, easy. Now, yes, you've got cold market, and Mariati mentioned talking at the bus stop. Listen, unless you just landed in the country, you don't know anybody, this should be the least time that the least activity. This should be something you do, what's called recruiting as you go. You just happen to have a chat with someone because they served you in a restaurant. You just happen to have a chat with someone because you were both chatting at the bus stop. But this is the slowest, hardest, lowest quality of ground. It's the hardest place to recruit. This one and this one are easy. Something someone said earlier about is, but what if you don't have the skills to do this? Well, just like any skills, you just make a decision, you're going to learn them. Guys, I started learning social media to this degree in November. I didn't know this stuff 2 years ago. Now I happen to stumble across Mark Robles on Facebook. By the way, he's a vice president. I met him on Facebook, and now he's got a team of people, and he's doing great. I met him on Facebook, but it was completely by accident. I didn't really know. I mean, I did go out to find, I guess I kind of knew what I was doing. I knew that I needed a Filipino on my team because I saw these Filipinos were being, the truth, I actually went to find a Filipino. So I had no clue. So I was so green naive. I literally thought I need to find somebody who's a Filipino that can introduce me to some Filipinos. So I literally joined some Filipino groups on Facebook, right? So I'm now this white guy in a Filipino group, and I just started randomly chatting to people in the group. And it happened that Mark Roberts was one of those people. We got chatting, we met, still didn't recruit him on Facebook, by the way. I met him on Facebook, and we went and had a coffee and a chat, and he still didn't join straight away. And it was only when I sent him some more information later, like we had a book, and he saw lots of Filipinos in the book. He's like, yeah, I want to join. So we met again, he joined. But the point is, I had no clue. I only just started learning this stuff to this degree from November, right? I had 300 followers in November on my Facebook. Now I've got 800 and something. Why? Because I started to learn how to do it. I didn't have a Facebook group. Now I've got 800 and something people on a Facebook group. Didn't know how to do it. I had no clue. I did set up a group. I had no clue what I was doing though. It was just a group. I didn't know the rules. I had to learn the rules. I didn't have a Facebook facelift. Well, Steve, how do I get a Facebook facelift? You go onto our Facebook group, you click on the button that says social media, and then you follow the step-by-step about how to give yourself a Facebook facelift. We've talked about this for months and months and months, and yet there are people on this call, I won't name them, but they're on this call and they have not touched their Facebook. And whether you're going to prospect on Facebook or not, you still need to have a Facebook facelift. Because even if you prospect somebody on the street, Joy, she just said guilty, Joy. She knows who I'm talking about. Even if you prospect somebody on the street, Joy, and you give them your name, I promise you they are going to look at your Facebook to see who you really are and see that you sell Ugg boots, right? Shaheen nearly spat her drink out. That's what they're going to see, right? I know you don't sell Ugg boots, but your social media says that you sell Ugg boots, right? So they're going to look you up and go, she's not a finance person, she sells shoes.
You can't do stuff like that, Steve, not with a hot drink.
So the point is, people are going to look at your social media, whether you prospect on social media or not. So just take an hour, go onto the social media button on our Facebook group and start at step number 1 and go down the list and fix your profile. That's it. That's all. That's your homework this week. Just do it. That's the worst that can happen is you get a better profile. The best you can happen is you can find out this thing called attraction marketing works and people start contacting you. By the
Steve,
way, yeah.
Sorry, what I was just going to say is out of my 4, actually 3 of them were completely cold market. But when I connected, so I've met these people and I literally, oh, you sound like my kind of person. Let's connect on Facebook. So, and then they've literally watched, because Nikki, didn't she? She turned around and said, I've been watching you on Facebook and I just needed to know what you were doing.
Yep.
So like the cold market bit, you know, just if your Facebook is good and you can connect people to you on Facebook and it's all good, then that, like I said, 3 out of my 4 have done that. And I've got a lady this week who I met at the bar before we did at the convention in Guildford.
Yeah.
When we went into our extreme breakout group, I plonked myself next to this lady at the bar who was drinking Prosecco, and I said, oh, is that any good or is it the cheap stuff? And she said, yeah, it's all right. So I had a glass of Prosecco with her and added her on Facebook, and then she's been watching me and asking me loads of questions. So, you know, completely cold, just get yourself out there and turn that cold market into somebody, you know, you've got to be somebody that people want to. Curiosity, I would use the word curiosity.
100%. Curiosity is super powerful, right? You want people checking you out. You know, like when I meet somebody on Shaper, right? I go, hey, do you mind if we connect on Facebook? Because I lose messages here a lot and I don't want to lose you on here because I get so many messages. I don't want to lose you. Is it okay if we meet on Facebook? Yeah, no problem. Why do I do that? Now, I can find their messages in Shaper, but I know that when they look at my Facebook profile, there's so much more on it than there is on my Shaper profile. Shaper profile is minimalistic. Facebook profile is successful business person, family man, right? Holidays, nice, whatever, right? They go, this guy looks like he's got it all together. What is it you actually do? We have a chat. I get it to the point where I decide, am I going to take it further? And I go, nope, end of, delete, not interested. Or I just don't speak to him anymore, to be fair, because I'm too busy looking for the next one. Okay, so you got to get that sorted, guys. It's not that you've got to recruit on Facebook, but people are going to check your Facebook. I saw something not long ago about employers, how employers will look at your CV, but then they'll go look you up on Facebook to see what your social media is saying about you, you know? And if they don't like what they see on social media, you can have the most amazing CV, the most phenomenal interview, but they ain't taking you on. because they're looking at your Facebook. Your Facebook is your shop window, right? So finding people. Motivation. Why are some people making it and I'm not? Well, there's several reasons. One of them is the things we've talked about. They've got social media. I mean, if you look at who's making it. So Lindsay's recruiting people right now. Her social media looks great. Shaheen's recruiting people now. Social media looks great. Esther's recruiting people. Social media looks great. I'm recruiting people. My social media looks great. You know, success leaves clues, right? So yeah, I mean, that's a lot of us, really. Now, I'm not saying you have to do that. Everything we do is optional. It's your business, right? But at the end of the day, you know, you got to decide what strategy you want to use. But there's a clue that the people that are recruiting, whether they're doing it on social media, their social media looks good, right? Fix your social media, all right? Yes, you're going to recruit cold people. But most people, it's not going to be, hey, met you at a bus stop. Do you want to look at a business? Yeah, I do. Great. Here's what we do. Join. Oh, brilliant. That's amazing. Most people, you've got to warm them up. They start out cold, but then they become warmer. And as they get warmer, now they're open to listen more, right? So you've got to do that. So motivation, why are they doing it? Well, there's two reasons. Their profile, social media, was more than two. Their profile, the fact that they consistently have new conversations. Every one of those people I just mentioned, I know, speaks to new people every single day. Every day. Lindsay, I can tell you now, she's sitting out in the sun and she's still on her phone chatting to new people. When I was sitting in the sun in Canary Islands, Isabel will tell you, every day I was on my phone, I'm making new connections ready for when I come back, you know. I'm just keeping sowing the seeds because that's what I can control, right? It's just that simple, guys. It really is. So yeah, first, and the next thing as well, why are they doing and I'm not? Well, first of all, stop comparing yourself to people. You're in a different place to them. You might be brand new and got no skills. They might be established and got loads of skills. You can't compare with people, but you can compete with them. You can learn from people. I don't look at Steve Jenkins and go, why is he making so much more money than I'm making? I just go, do you know what? I can go make the money he's making because he's not better than I am. He's just done it for longer than me and he's got a bigger team than me. And if I just do the same things, if I just get recruits like he's got them, if I build vice presidents like he's built vice presidents, then I'll make 400 grand a year. It's not even a debate for me. It's not even a wish, a hope. It's a fact. Of course I'm going to do that, right? Shaheen just private messaged me, don't forget the toilet technique. And for those of you who don't know what the toilet technique is, again, I do this every day. Oh, my light's on for some reason. Every day, and so some of you may have even received a text at this time, but every day, in fact, pretty every time I go into the toilet, I go with my phone. And while I'm on the phone, guess what? I start new conversations. I like and love posts. I comment on posts. I go on Facebook. Because, well, what else am I going to do? Read the newspaper? Reading the newspaper doesn't pay me any money. Making a contact on Facebook or whatever might lead me to a winner. So, you know, it's dead time. It's maximizing your time. When I go to pick up Micah, I sit outside the school. Guess what I do? I either do a live or I'd make some phone calls or I'm on social media saying, how's things? That's what I do. I get up in the morning and I start work and I keep working until I go to bed. That's how you become successful. You know, it's funny. Someone says, you know, you can become successful working half a day, literally half a day every day of the week. And I think it was Jim Rohn. He said, you can work half a day, every week, and you'll become successful. He said, so you work 12 hours Monday, 12 hours Tuesday, 12 hours Wednesday, and so on. Problem is, most people go, well, I've done my 6 hours for today. I need to watch EastEnders. Well, guess what? If you're watching EastEnders, you can still have your phone and be going, how's things? Because it's such a brain dead thing. You don't need to really focus on it, right? There are certain things you've got to watch where you need to pay attention. That's not one of them, right? So just go and ask how's things. Seriously, decide that you're going to ask how's things like 100 times this week. See what happens. Another one. Gosh, got like 9 minutes to get through the rest. When you haven't got an opportunity meeting, an RP or link, Esther said, sometimes it's knowing which one to send. It's a tough one, Esther, because it just depends on the person. I just tend to make a judgment call on it. I find for me, look, the most effective ways of recruiting people, this is for me how it is. So business opportunity meeting, in my view, is the number one way to recruit people. 1 in 3 people show up, 1 in 3 people join. It's the number one way. Number 2, and this even leads into number 2, is, face-to-face, okay? Face-to-face in real life, IRL, face-to-face, real life is the more effective way to recruit people because you can touch people's emotions. You can get into their business a little bit more. After that, you've got things like Zoom calls, okay? Zoom calls, video links, stuff like that. Another one, and this is not actually in order, let me not put a 5 in it, is leverage. If you don't know what to say, well, guess what? Your upline does know what to say. Okay? So Joe, good job, Joe. Joe messaged me this week, said there's a guy I met. Can you speak to him? I called him. Haven't managed to have the conversation yet because he was doing something. But we've arranged to do a call on Monday. So I'm calling as, as Joe's guy, and I'm going to cheerlead Joe, and I'm going to interview the guy, right? I know what to say. Joe said, I just had someone, how do you help people get financially independent? Just with stuff like that, Joe, when people say things like that, just give really generic answers, I give them a financial education. What does that mean? Well, it's not something I can really go for on text. It's kind of a big thing. If I could give people financial education on Shaper text, there'd be no need for a business, would there? Right? People ask stupid questions. It's just knowing how to deflect them with smart answers that aren't evasive. I'll give an example.
Steve, I use phrases. It's a visual thing. You kind of have to see it to understand
Love
it.
that. Yep, it's a visual thing. It's a visual thing. You kind of have to see it. Another thing, like this week when I was speaking to Lindsay's lady, she's a real detail-oriented, switched-on business lady. And Lindsay would have noticed that she kept asking me these in-depth questions, but I was evasive, but in a good way. I was kind of like, it's really something you've got to see. Yeah, actually, I'd really love to get together and explain that to you because it's going to lead to this, or one question often leads to another question. So I really want to make sure you get all your questions answered. And I don't mean to be invasive, but I really want you to get all the answers. Most people, smart people, get all the facts. They don't fill in the blanks with assumption. I know you're the kind of person that likes to get all the facts on a subject before making a decision, right? So I really want to make sure you get all the information rather than just these little tidbits. Does that make sense? Of course it makes sense because it's logical, right? So stuff like that, yeah? And she said, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So then we set up a call, all right? So yeah, you just got to take a view on it. See, that's really Zoom. It's a really fast Zoom, isn't it? Zoom. There you go. See, you don't have to be able to spell either to be a vice president. Can't spell Zoom. Okay, confidence to speak to people. Listen, confidence comes from practice. Confidence comes from knowing your stuff, knowing your scripts. Confidence comes from building your mindset. It's just practice. Confidence is something that can be built. It can be learned. I was never super confident about speaking to people. Even now I have my introvert moments, but I promise you, you walk tall and people look at you differently. Not enough people, cold market. Well, I think we've answered that already. What if you don't have Facebook knowledge? Well, decide that you're going to learn it. Watch the videos. I would ask the question, if you say you don't know how to use Facebook, my question would be, how many times have you watched the 2 or 3 lessons that we've done on Genistar TV about Facebook? Have you even gone through the list of Facebook facelift and done that? And, oh, but Steve, I don't even know how to use Facebook. Well, go on to Do you know how to use YouTube? Go onto YouTube and say, how do I set up a Facebook account? And guess what? Somebody will give you a basic lesson in YouTube, probably Facebook, right? So you don't have to, you know, there's always a way. If you're serious about learning something, whatever it is, you find a way, right? And here's the big one, and I'll wrap up, I'll close with this. Closing people. See what I did there? All right. So closing people. Myself and Tim were talking about this the other day. And he's saying, you know, I can get them. I hope you don't mind me saying this, Tim, but I can get them to the point where they go, yeah, it's really good. I'm really interested. But then it's like, but, you know, just getting them that last question, that last thing to say, you know, like, you know, Tim said to me, oh, I've got this person, he's really interested in joining. So I've said to him that, you know, I'll get you to speak to him. And I'm like, and again, I'm sorry, Tim, if you don't want me to say this, but it's too late. I said to him, mate, just take the flipping guy's IBA. Say to him, great, let me get the IBA sorted. So you just got to ask these questions, stuff like, so you can say things like, so yeah, what are your thoughts? Yeah, it's brilliant. I want to join. Awesome. So your next steps are to complete the link. Did you want me to send, where did you want me to send that link to for you to complete? On Messenger or email? Right, that's called an alternative close. Your assumptive close, right? Where do you want to send that link? On your email or Messenger? Oh yeah, Messenger would be great, right? Maybe it's, so what are your thoughts? So is there anything that's stopping you going ahead with us right now? Great, let's do this. Awesome, so how soon would you like me to get you started? How soon do you want to start making money? As soon as possible. Great, let's get that application in. There's many, don't be afraid of that. If they go, whoa, hold on a minute, I'm not sure if I'm ready to join yet, you go, oh, I'm sorry. You know, just when I asked you how quickly you want to start making money, you said as soon as possible. So I took that to mean that you want to get started making as soon as possible, right? What else do you say? Shaheen, what do you say? I know you'll have a very eloquent way of saying this.
Yeah, it sounds like you're ready to get started.
Love that. Sounds like you're ready to get started. Let's get the application in, you know, and then I'll talk to you about the next steps. That's something I use, actually. Sounds like you're ready to get going with us. Let's get the application done, and then I'll arrange an orientation meeting to talk to you about your next steps, you know. Don't be afraid to ask. They've just told you, yeah, I like this. I want it. And you go, okay, well, let's just hold it right there. Let's think about it for a minute. I remember when I was in car sales, right? There was this one guy called Terry. I was working at Honda years and years ago when I was like 21. And this guy, there's this old couple kept coming in to buy this Honda Accord. And they kept chatting to this guy, and they never bought it, you know? And he'd like, every time this guy would come in and he'd say, well, listen, don't make a decision now. You know, have a think about it. And you know, we'll talk in a few days, you know? And pretty soon, this guy called up the showroom and said, look, I really, really want to buy the Honda Accord in the showroom, but Terry just doesn't really seem to want me to buy it because he's not letting me. He keeps telling me to think about it. Look, if people are giving you buying signals, then just ask the question. The worst that they can do is give you an objection. An objection is not a rejection. It's a request for more information, right? So then you overcome the objection. Oh yeah, I really want to join, but I don't have the £140. That's not a problem. People don't join by paying £140. It's something a decision they make with their head and with their heart. Now we need the 140 to process your application, but in the meantime, if you're ready to commit with time, and you can't commit with money, you can commit with time. What time can you put into this? Let's get you started. Let's put your top 20 list together. Let's get you trained while we're waiting for the £140. How soon do you think you can get that? Payday? Yeah, payday. When's payday? Oh, it's next week. Fantastic. In the meantime, let's get started. And then so you're already part trained by payday. Does that make sense? Awesome. There's loads of ways. Maybe next week we should do overcoming objections. That's probably a good webinar for next week, right? Somebody remind me that we're going to do that, okay? Does that all make sense, guys? Yes? Awesome.